Chapter 1. The Dying Grove. The air in the verdant expanse was thick with the scent of decay. Dr. Ilara Voss adjusted the straps of her respirator, the filters humming softly as they scrubbed the toxins from the air. Once, this had been the last great rainforest of Eldera Prime, a sprawling luminous jungle where bioluminescent fungi pulsed like stars beneath the canopy, and the trees sang in low, harmonic tones when the wind stirred their leaves. Now the forest was a graveyard. Ilara knelt beside a fallen elderwood, its bark blackened, its roots withered. She pressed a gloved hand against its trunk, feeling the faint, irregular pulse of its fading life force. Not long now. Then she heard it, a sound like wind chimes but softer, mournful. A whisper of something ancient. Following the sound, Ilara pushed through the skeletal remains of underbrush until she reached a small clearing. At its center stood the last living tree, a slender silverwood, its bark shimmering like liquid mercury. And curled at its roots, weeping, was a figure so ethereal that Ilara's breath caught in her throat. Forest spirit. The spirit was small, her form translucent, woven from strands of golden light and trailing vines. Her eyes, huge and luminous, were filled with tears that fell like liquid amber, sizzling as they touched the poisoned earth. Ilara had read about them in the archives. Guardians of the old forests, beings of pure symbiosis. But she had never expected to see one. They were supposed to be extinct. The spirit looked up, her voice a fragile melody. "You are human." Ilara swallowed hard. "Yes, my name is Ilara Voss. I'm a botanist." The spirit's glow dimmed. "Then you have come to study our death." "No," Ilara said, stepping closer. "I came to save you." Chapter 2. The Bargain. The spirit's name was Silva. Once, she had been one of thousands, bound to the heart trees of the verdant expanse. But as the corporations stripped the land, as the skies darkened with industrial smog, the spirits had faded, starved of the symbiotic bond that sustained them. Silva was the last. "You don't understand," Silva whispered, her voice trembling. "The forest is beyond saving. The poison runs too deep." Ilara clenched her fists. She had spent years fighting the corporations, documenting the destruction, pleading for intervention. But no one listened. Not until it was too late. "Then we take you somewhere new," Ilara said. "A place where the earth still lives." Silva's glow flickered. "You would uproot me." "Not you," Ilara said. "The seed." She pointed to the silverwood. Nestled within its branches was a single glowing seed, the last of its kind. The heart of the forest. Silva's eyes widened. "If the seed leaves, the forest dies with me. And if it stays, it dies anyway," Ilara said softly. "But if we take it to the sanctuary on Nova Terra?" "A dead world," Silva interrupted. "Barren. Silent." "Not anymore," Ilara insisted. "The terraforming has begun. The soil is clean. The rains are pure. It could be a new beginning." Silva hesitated. Then, with a shuddering breath, she nodded. "I will trust you, human. But if you betray us..." Ilara met her gaze. "I won't." Chapter 3. The Escape. The extraction was not easy. The corporations had drones patrolling the dead zones, scanning for any remaining resources to exploit. When Ilara carefully extracted the seed, the silverwood let out a final, mournful chime, and then crumbled to dust. The drones detected the energy surge instantly. Ilara ran, Silva clinging to her shoulders, the seed cradled against her chest. Behind them, the forest groaned as if in agony, the last of its life force draining away. They barely made it to Ilara's ship before the drones opened fire. The hull screeched as plasma bolts scorched the metal, But Ilara punched the thrusters, hurtling them into the sky. Silva wept as the dying forest shrank beneath them. They have taken everything. Ilara set the coordinates for Nova Terra. Not everything, she said. Not yet. Chapter 4, The New World. Nova Terra was nothing like Eldra Prime. The sky was pale, the land still raw from terraforming. But the air was clean and the soil, engineered to heal, was rich with potential. Ilara planted the seed at the center of the sanctuary, where the first rains had begun to fall. Silva knelt beside it, her hands trembling as she pressed them into the earth. "Will it take root?" she whispered. Ilara didn't know. But she knelt beside the spirit, their fingers brushing against the soil. "We'll wait," she said. Together. Days passed. Then, on the 7th morning, a silver shoot broke through the earth. Silva gasped, her glow flaring bright as the sapling stretched toward the sun. Its leaves unfurled, translucent, shimmering, and for the first time in centuries the spirit laughed. "It lives," she breathed. Ilara smiled. "And so do you." Epilogue, the promise kept. Years later, the sanctuary was no longer just a single tree. The silverwood had grown, its roots spreading, its song echoing across the valleys. New spirits, born from Silva's hope, danced in its branches. The earth remembered. And Ilara, now old and gray, sat beneath the canopy, listening to the wind. Silva, forever young, curled beside her. "You kept your promise," she murmured. Ilara closed her eyes. "And I'd do it again." The last forest spirit no longer wept. She grew. Epilogue. The legacy of the last seed. The years had been kind to Nova Terra. Where there had once been barren plains, a new forest now thrived. A luminous expanse of silverwoods, their leaves catching the sunlight like scattered prisms. The air hummed with the voices of young forest spirits, their laughter weaving through the branches like wind through chimes. Ilara Voss, her hair now silver as the trees she had saved, walked slowly along the forest's edge. Her hands, once steady with the precision of a scientist, now trembled slightly with age. But her eyes, still sharp, still fierce, took in every detail. The way the roots pulsed with bioluminescence at dusk. The way the earth, once dead, now teemed with life. Silva found her there, as she often did. The spirit had grown stronger over the years, her form no longer translucent with sorrow but radiant, solid. She no longer wept. "You're late," Silva teased, her voice a melody. Ilara chuckled. "I'm old. Everything takes longer now." Silva's glow softened. She reached out, her fingers brushing Ilara's wrinkled cheek. "Not everything." They walked together to the heart of the forest, where the first tree, now towering, its trunk wide enough that 3 people could not have encircled it, stood sentinel. Its roots had spread deep, purifying the soil, drawing the poison from the earth and transforming it into something new. Something alive. Beneath its branches, a small sapling had recently sprouted, a descendant of the original seed. "It's time," Silva said softly. Ilara exhaled, nodding. She had known this day would come. Her body was failing. But her work would endure. She knelt beside the sapling, her joints protesting, and pressed her palm against the soil. Silva knelt beside her, their hands overlapping. "You gave us a future," Silva whispered. "Let us return the gift." A warmth spread through Ilara's fingers, up her arms, through her chest. The forest breathed around her, the air sweet and thick with promise. And then, she was not gone. She was everywhere, in the rustle of leaves, in the pulse of roots beneath the earth, in the laughter of the spirits as they danced beneath a sky no longer choked with smoke. Silva stood, her golden light shimmering brighter than ever, and pressed her forehead against the trunk of the great silverwood. "Rest, my friend," she murmured. "You've earned it." And the forest, alive, eternal, sang her home.